Part 4. Going home. They left the tavern together. Marmeladov could not walk straight. He leaned heavily on Raskolnikov. They had only 200 or 300 steps to walk. But for Marmeladov, it was not easy. As they walked, Marmeladov talked quietly to himself. "It is not her anger I am afraid of," he said. "She will pull my hair. That is fine. It does not hurt me. Or maybe it does hurt, but it is fine. What I am afraid of is her eyes. Her eyes when she looks at me. And her cheeks red. Always red because of the illness. And her breathing. Have you heard how sick people breathe when they are upset? And the children. If the children are crying, it means Sonia did not bring food. And that means they have nothing." He stopped for a moment, then continued. "Blows do not frighten me. A beating from her is almost a comfort. It lets her feel better. And that is good. Yes, that is better." They arrived at the building. It was called Kozel's house. They went into the yard and up the stairs. The stairs were very dark. It was almost 11 o'clock at night. Petersburg in summer has white nights, but at the top of the stairs it was dark. At the very top was a small door. It was not fully closed. They pushed it open and went in. The room was very small, only about 10 steps long. A small piece of candle gave the only light. The room was full of mess. Children's clothes were everywhere. In the corner, sheets were hung up. Behind them was probably the bed. There were only 2 chairs and a sofa with holes in it. There was a plain wooden table. On the table was a small iron candle holder with a burning candle. Raskolnikov saw Katerina Ivanovna immediately. She was a tall, thin woman. She had dark brown hair. Her cheeks were red, very red. She walked back and forth in the small room, pressing her hands to her chest. Her lips were dry. She breathed in short, broken gasps. Her eyes were bright and sharp, like a person with fever. She was about 30 years old. She did not notice them come in. She was lost in her own thoughts. The youngest child, a girl of 6, was asleep on the floor with her head resting on the sofa. A boy, 1 year older, stood in the corner crying and shaking. He had probably just been hit. Next to the boy stood a girl of 9. She was tall and very thin. She wore an old, almost falling apart dress. Her arm, thin, like a stick, was around her brother's neck. She was trying to calm him. She whispered quietly to him. But at the same time, her big dark eyes were watching her mother with great fear. Marmeladov did not walk into the room. He dropped to his knees in the doorway. He pushed Raskolnikov in front of him. Katerina Ivanovna saw the stranger first. She stopped and looked at Raskolnikov. She seemed confused. She thought he was going to walk through to the next room. Then she saw her husband. "You came back!" she screamed. She ran towards him. "Criminal! Monster! Where's the money? What is in your pockets? Show me. And where are your clothes? Where is your uniform? Where's the money? Answer me." She started searching his pockets. Marmeladov lifted his arms to make it easier for her to search. There was nothing, not 1 coin. "He drank it all!" she cried. "There were 12 silver rubles in the box." She grabbed him by the hair and pulled him into the room. Marmeladov did not resist. He crawled on his knees. "This is a comfort to me, honored sir," he called out to Raskolnikov, even while she pulled him by the hair. "This is not pain, this is a comfort." The small sleeping girl woke up and started to cry. The boy in the corner screamed louder and ran to his sister, shaking with terror. The older girl was trembling like a leaf. "He drank everything. Katerina Ivanovna cried again. His clothes are gone, and the children are hungry. Hungry! She turned to Raskolnikov suddenly. You were drinking with him. Get out of here! Out! Raskolnikov left quickly without saying a word. Behind him, he could hear the noise. The neighbors had opened their door to watch. Faces with cigarettes looked in. People in their nightclothes laughed. They found it funny. For them, it was entertainment. Even the landlady, Amalia Fyodorovna, appeared. She was shouting. She was threatening to throw the whole family out of the room. As Raskolnikov walked out, he reached into his pocket. He found some small coins, the change from the ruble he had spent in the tavern. He put the coins quietly on the windowsill. He did not want anyone to see. On the stairs, he stopped. He thought, maybe I should take the money back. I need it myself. But then he thought again. No. It was done. He would not take it back. He walked home. On the street, he thought about Sonia. She also needed money. She needed to look presentable for her work. That cost money too. And her money, the money she earned in that terrible way, went to her father to buy alcohol. He laughed. But it was not a happy laugh. It was a bitter laugh. Then he stopped walking for a moment. A thought came to him. What if I am wrong? He said to himself. What if people are not really bad? What if all the rules and barriers we make, what if they are just invented? What if there is really no difference between right and wrong? He did not answer his own question. He kept walking.
Подпишись, пожалуйста, или хотя бы поставь лайк. Один лайк не меняет мир, но меняет путь того, кто делится смыслом.